Your Excellency, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, former President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka. Your Excellency and the member of my panel, Paul Stevens, the High Commissioner of Australia. Dr. Wignaraja, Ms. Wagiswara, ambassadors and excellencies, esteemed colleagues, as we would say in Africa, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, and we wish to appreciate the opportunity accorded to us to provide an African perspective on this issue that at times Africa gets forgotten. It is our view that the dynamic geopolitics of the Indo-Pacific region have become a defining geopolitical construct of our time, broadly impacting the international relations of the world, which is currently characterized by enormous tensions. Today, the Indo-Pacific stands at the forefront of global strategic discourse. It is more than a geographical expression. It is an evolving and dynamic geopolitical and geoeconomic framework that brings together the vast and vital Indian and Pacific Oceans regions. This is due not only to the immense geostrategic importance, but also because it is a home to vast natural resources and the world's most crucial sea lines, including those of communication. Through you, Your Excellency, I wish us to just take a moment and appreciate the sheer scale and importance of this region. This region is home to 60% of the global population. It generates 60% of the global GDP and contributes nearly 2/3 to the current global economic growth. It is projected that by 2030, an overwhelming 90% of the 2.4 billion people are expected to join the global middle class, and they will reside in the Indo-Pacific region. Furthermore, 60% of the global maritime trade passes through the waters of this region, including 1/3 through the South China Sea. Yet alongside these promising figures lies a growing set of challenges: rising geopolitical competition, increasing strain on trade and supply chains, as well as escalating concerns over maritime safety and security. To date, there are many questions on the African continent. And one of those questions is, where is Africa in this conversation? To date, no African nation, regional economic community, nor even the African Union has articulated this coherent strategy or policy outlook on this specific Indo-Pacific region. To us, this is not merely an oversight. It is a strategic vacuum that places our continent at risk of being marginalized in the shaping of this Indo-Pacific order, in which it has a significant stake and, by extension, fully participating in at all global levels. To be clear, Africa is not an outsider to the Indo-Pacific. 13 of our continent's littoral and island states are situated in the Western Indo-Pacific. These states are not peripheral. They are an integral part of the Indo-Pacific geography and architecture. And it is our view that if, as the continent, we are to pursue our global goals as outlined in Agenda 2063 regarding the Africa we want, we must view the Indo-Pacific as a critical partner in our development ambitions. Our program, Agenda 2063, remains our blueprint, Africa's blueprint for socio-economic transformation. It is actually a bold vision to position our continent as a global powerhouse in the future. Our continent is home to 1.3 billion people today, and it is projected to almost double that number to 2.5 billion by 2050. This continent holds 30% of the world's mineral resources, including platinum, and significant reserves of rare earth elements. Our combined 30,000 kilometers of coastline and 1.5 million square kilometers of exclusive economic zone make the ocean an indispensable pillar for our economies, food security, and climate resilience. It is within this context that the African Union Decade of Africa's Seas and Oceans, 2015-2025, and the Africa's Integrated Maritime Strategy, AIMS 2050, become central. These frameworks outline a strategic vision for the sustainable use and protection of our maritime resources, underpinning the development of a blue economy in a secure and environmentally responsible manner. Furthermore, Africa's broader developmental goals, including the African Continental Free Trade Area, are inherently linked to the global trade. They are equally linked to peace and security systems, and are increasingly in these systems that are being shaped by dynamics within the Indo-Pacific. Our continent's trade and development partners from Japan and China to India and ASEAN are based in this region. The Indo-Pacific is the main conduit through which Africa conducts the bulk of its geopolitical and geo-economic relations. Hence, the case for an African Indo-Pacific vision that is not only aspirational, but imperative. This is where institutions like the Indian Ocean Rim Association, IORA, offer a strong foundation. 9 African countries, including island states from south and east, are full members of IORA, with its Vision 2030, which provides a strategic orientation that aligns well with the Indo-Pacific's evolving dynamics. Our region, the southern tip of the continent, Southern Africa, has already begun embedding its Indo-Pacific perspectives within IORA framework, the IORA framework. And its strategic focus includes maritime safety and security, trade and investment facilitation, fisheries management, disaster risk reduction, academic and scientific cooperation, tourism and cultural exchange, the blue economy, women's economic empowerment, and climate change resilience. South Africa, as a regional leader, has reaffirmed its commitment to a free, open, peaceful, and prosperous Indian Ocean and Indo-Pacific, a vision grounded in inclusivity, cooperation, and human-centered development. The southern region is currently working on scaling up this momentum across the African Union and all its structures. It is our concerted view that a continental strategy that recognizes Africa not as a passive observer, but as an active benefactor to the Indo-Pacific architecture is being worked on. Within this context, Africa and the Indo-Pacific have to forge a relationship based on mutual prosperity, strategic cooperation, and shared security. It is our view that the continent cannot be relegated to the margins of a region where so much of the continent's economic and strategic future will be decided. The demographic trajectory of the sub-Saharan Africa will require the Indo-Pacific region to consider more inclusive and mutually beneficial means of engagement with Africa. Let me conclude by saying this. The Indo-Pacific is not just a theater of global competition. It is a region of opportunity. And if Africa engages and conversely is engaged with wisely, proactively, and collaboratively, the Indo-Pacific can become a partner in achieving the goals espoused by IORA. The fundamental questions that we keep on asking, the questions relating to the security, are quite critical in securing the Indo-Pacific as well as the Indian Ocean. And the question becomes, how do we provide the necessary security in the Indian Ocean without weaponizing it? And the dangers of weaponizing it lies not only in who holds the military might, but it is the mutual destruction that will ensue should all the elephants converge in the Indian Ocean. So then that leaves the onus with us as members of the Indo-Pacific and as members of the Indian Ocean to begin to look at mechanisms that will actually put diplomacy at the center of engagements. Currently, diplomacy is facing a huge challenge. It is beginning to be put on the reserve side, and the military might is beginning to find expression openly. Then the onus is on all the member countries in the Indo-Pacific to begin to find a mechanism to recultivate and recalibrate diplomacy as the only way and means to achieve security for the powerful and security for the weak. Thank you very much.